The youth are the building blocks of every developed nation. The stronger the youth of a country, the more developed the country is.
For a country like Nigeria, with over 60% youth population, one would wonder why we are where we are at 60. In 1960, Nigeria gained our independence, and today we are saying to our very own motherland, Happy Independence. My name is Temitayo balogun.
And my name still remains Omotobora Samson. Welcome to the day 3 and the grand finale of the Agenda 3.0. It has been an amazing time since day 1.
Oh, day 1 was phenomenal.
True.
We had an amazing time day 1, talking about upskilling and the new economy. Everything technology. Day 2 was sploofic.
Yes, truthfully, it was sploofic and noteworthy because we spoke about youth participation in the election. Trust me, if you miss any of those sessions, you can catch them on YouTube because we got you.
And today promises to be outstanding. We're going to blow your mind today as we'll be talking about
the nation builders.
All right, it is time for us to get down to the agenda of the day. We're moving down to the discussion session.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to defend Nigeria with all my strength, to uphold her unity. These are the questions that the pledge of Nigeria raises for you and I. My fundamental question is this: are you loyal? Are you faithful? Are you honest? The young people of this nation are asking fundamental questions, but are they asking the right questions? Today, in the Independence Anniversary edition of the Agenda, we are going to be asking difficult questions because we need the right answers. Wherever you are watching us at this time, you need to understand that even though we are not where we used to be, are we where we want to be? Every nation that forgets its history and its past is doomed to repeat it. But listen, it is not all about doom and gloom. In today's edition, we shall be engaging with brilliant minds and asking them those tough questions about the nation builders. My name is Abiodun Famujuro. Welcome to the Independence edition of The Agenda. One of my panelists that will be joining us on today's edition is a very young man that has been born and raised in Nigeria, a global citizen, a recipient of over 10 awards. He has a day assigned to him in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio, in America, in Nigeria, doing great exploits. He qualifies as a nation builder, the founder of Tender Hearts and Atumbi Project. I would like you to please join me to make welcome Kunle Adewale. You're very much welcome, Kunle Adewale.
Thank you for hosting me.
It's a great delight to have you on this program.
Great.
There is another gentleman that will be joining us, and I make note to say, someone that is passionate about the subject of governance. He walks the talk. He has worked with the United Nations on youth and governance in the model example. He has been a participant of Under 30 CEO Africa. He's a financial expert, a graduate of one of the pioneering universities in Nigeria. I would like you to please join me wherever you are and acknowledge and celebrate this brilliant mind in the person of Oluwafemi Oyewumi. Oluwafemi Oyewumi, I want to say to you a very big welcome to the Agenda.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let us get into the conversation, gentlemen, without much ado. It is impracticable to talk about the nation builders without talking about nation and building. Now, understand this. If the foundation is destroyed, no matter what you put upon it, it will not stand. Kunle Adewale, what is your definition or perception of nation building and being a nation builder?
Thank you very much for asking that critical questions. I think that there are two things involved when you talk about nation building. You talk about nation and you talk about the building. So nation talks about people in a geographical location, while building talks about structures and system. Think about a physical architecture or building. Every building must have a foundation. So nation building is about uplifting people and creating a system. The foundation for every nation, I would say, lies in the value system. The value of human rights, freedom of expression, among many others. So think about education, about youth development and governance, among many others. So nations that thrive today are built on systems that build the people and have good values. So in nation building, human capital is capital. In nation building, human capital is capital. I know that there are so many nations in the world that focuses on their natural resources, but then do not focus on youth development, do not focus on youth engagement, does not focus on empowering the citizens. So I think that when you come to talk about the nation builders are people who are empowered to build the communities where they found themselves. They don't have to be working in the bank alone. They don't have to be working in educational sector alone. Nation builders are everywhere. Nation builders are citizens of countries who really have the best interests of their countries at heart, who are contributing significantly to the building of their country and also the building of the name of their country. They are image makers wherever they find themselves.
Thank you very much, Kunle Adewale. I probably did not mention this to our global audience. Kunle Adewale is joining us live from San Francisco, California. Now, there is something very striking that we need to talk about here. And I'm going to engage Femi Oyumi in this. It is impracticable to talk about nation building and the nation builders where those who are meant to build the nations are leaving that nation, where we are having a massive migration of a great number of Nigerians to the Mediterranean Sea, the Sahara Desert, Libya, Tripoli, and other locations. There is a massive exodus of brilliant minds out of Nigeria going to develop other nations. Femi Oyumi, what is your take on this subject matter? If the nation builders are not around to build the nation, who will build it?
Thank you very much. It saddens my heart to know that the brilliant arts are actually leaving the country. In fact, you need to ask me that, what am I still doing in Nigeria? The reason why I'm still here is because I believe there is hope for this country. It's painful to see that there is no enabling environment for the youth to thrive. Those indices are there. When you take on the healthcare, for an example, I was reading the news that was released a few days ago about the 72,000 qualified medical practitioners in this country. Half of them are practicing abroad. Why? They are not being paid salary. There is no equipment to even work with the people. And they strive to become people that can compete in the global space. And that's why they are running for the green pasture. But this is the feedback I want to give for us as a nation. We need to learn how to sacrifice to make Nigeria work. Listen to me, no one is going to come from outside Nigeria to correct the abnormalities in Nigeria. You need a Nigeria to correct the issues in Nigeria.
Femi, forgive my interruption, but please, my great-grandfather sacrificed. My grandfather sacrificed. My father has been sacrificing. Do you want my children to continue in the sacrifice that seemingly is not being rewarded? I pledge to Nigeria, my country. The question you need to ask, the nation builders, do we see ourselves as Nigerians first? Or do we see ourselves according to our ethnic nationality? Underdevelopment, underemployment, no employment. You're talking about healthcare. If you're talking about 72,000, then you are telling me that 36,000 brilliant minds, well-trained in Nigeria, are excelling abroad. We're talking about the nation builders. I need to also get us into the place, I need your solutions. We need to prefer solutions, because those who are acting and saying, look, we've sang this song for too long. This is our 60th year. We need to come up with creative, radical, aggressive solutions. I want to hear something from you that will shift the mind. And please understand this. Hope is an intangible commodity. We need to move from packaging and marketing hope. Hope is good, but hope deferred makes the heart sick. Tell us something.
Okay, let me bring it straight to you. I've spent the last 5 years advocating for young people into governance and other areas of life. So if you look at it, I spent significant time to look at raising people in terms of financial capacity on the 30 CEO. The focus in there is that we should have people who believe in this country first. Because if you cannot fight for what you don't believe in. I see a lot of young people who only make noise on Twitter, who only make noise around them. They talk without action. What do we need to do differently at 60? We need to be involved. When you talk about sacrifice, the sacrifice I'm talking about is not just making, a lot of policies, just talking about policies. We need to be involved and make our government accountable. How do we do that? There is one of the movements I'm part of recently. And what this initiative is doing is it picks the budget and the manifesto of each of the local governments and then follow through to see that those things they said they are doing are actually being done. Because you know what? When the project is not done, they take the money and keep it for campaign of election, which reduce the chances of the young people even to contest election. So if you have a way to make them accountable, you check them. And it's very unfortunate when you look at the media. You see other things striving and trending. Why we don't talk about the real issues affecting us in the country? Holding the people in power, accountable for what they are doing. So we need to think differently at 60 to begin to look in depth. We need to get involved and not just talk. We need to action those things. It's very funny if you ask someone in your local government that who is the councillor, they don't even know. If you see them coming out to say we are buying bread, you look at COVID-19 we just finished. They are bringing a representative is buying bread, palliatives and all that. Is that what we really need? Have you asked him what has he done in the last 1 year? He has been in that position. That is not happening from the youth. Youth needs to step up their games and take this battle to those who are sitting in there if you want to get to where we desire.
A passionate conversation. I'm going to come to you, Kunle Adewale, but I need to ask you a question. Fatoyin is speaking about the young people getting involved in governance, asking the leaders questions and holding them accountable. Is the challenge of Nigeria's nationhood leadership or followership? I need you to answer that question because you made reference to human capital, you made reference to value system. Because I need to share something with us, and we are all aware of it. Presently, right now, ongoing in the nation Nigeria, or about just rounding off, right? Just about rounded off, a program that gathered and garnered a lot of engagement with young people who are voting on the social media space. But this same number has not showed up for elections. This same number is not voting in elections. This same number is not asking the difficult questions. But on social media, they are legends, they are icons, they are titans. They are doing things. Is our challenge with nation building and nation builders the subject of leadership or followership? Kunle Adewale.
So I will say that the challenge that we have with nation building has to do with followership, because it's actually the followers that becomes the leaders.
Absolutely.
So for me, I would say that there's no our situation is not really like hopeless as it were, but it's very important as individuals to start taking responsibility to begin to inspire the change we want to see in our communities. We are looking for saviors, but the saviors we are looking for, we are that savior. We are looking for deliverers. Actually, we are that deliverance that we're looking for. So as young people, we need to start thinking inward and thinking of ways to bring forth solutions that can really help us to navigate various challenges that we are actually experiencing in our communities and around us. For instance, now, so being born in Nigeria and understanding the healthcare system. So, of course, I visited like several hospital space and looking at how the environment is. As an artist, I asked myself a question: what difference can I make? I think if you start asking that question, what difference can I make? I think we'll start seeing the difference we want to see in our community. We'll start seeing the difference we want to see in our country. Leadership begins with you. It does not begin with the politician. You are a leader in your own place. You are a leader in where God has assigned you. I will say this: be a king where God has commissioned you to serve. Be a king, be a person of authority, be a change maker where you have been positioned. Whether you are a classroom teacher, whether you are a sweeper, whether you are a driver, whatever position you occupy, change begins in that place. Change does not begin when you are elected as a public official. No, change begins even at home, as parents. Even as parents, what kind of values are you instilling in your children? What kind of value are your children embracing? So we must think about leadership from the home front. Teach a child the way it should go, so that when it grows up, it will not depart from it. So let's think about leadership in terms of the home front, and leadership begins where we are. So be a king where you have been positioned to serve.
All right.
Stop thinking about traveling abroad. Change will not happen abroad if it's not happening where you are. The world you want to change begins where you are. The world you're looking for is where you are today. So before you become a councillor, before you become a local government chairman, before you become a governor, before you become a senator, what are you doing for your community? What are you doing for your neighbors? If people around you cannot feel your impact, then you don't have business with leadership.
Okay.
You don't have business with governance, because if you cannot govern yourself, then you cannot govern anybody.
Very well spoken, Mr. Adewale. Now, we need to say something very important. Some persons have said that if a man is hungry, he can be easily manipulated. I said it some time ago, that an hungry man is a man that is open to manipulation. We're talking about the nation builders, and that is why you're on this panel sitting. What are the specific recommendations that are actionable, that can be executable? Because when you tell someone to become a change maker or to become a change agent or a nation builder, he tells you, I do not have the resources. I do not have the wherewithal. I do not have the capacity. So Nigeria as a nation, our debt profile is rising. A lot of people are disillusioned. People that said years ago, I will stay with Nigeria, I will do everything I can, they are looking for the next flight out of the nation. What are you preferring? I'm going to come to Femi Yuma, and I'm going to come back to you, Kunle Adewale, because the agenda is not an esoteric conversation. It is a practical application engagement that is meant to redefine the nation as a whole. From changing the narrative to beyond rhetoric, now we're talking about the nation builders. This is the 60th anniversary of Nigeria as a nation. It's a diamond anniversary, but it's very important. The communication in the logo says together. And the question is, if we keep talking about togetherness, when are we going to talk about promotion of the rule of law? When are we going to talk about freedom of expression? When are we going to talk about infrastructural development? When are we going to talk about the change that connects to the man in his locality and the smallest of space? I need to ask you, starting with you, Femi Oyewumi. You've been in governance. You've been part of it. Not too young to rule, right? Was part of the campaign you worked on. But Femi Oyewumi, let us call a spade a spade. Some persons are in the not too young to rule. They got on that platform. Are they representing us well? Do they qualify as nation builders? And some persons are saying, in the not too young to rule, I cannot rule. I cannot run. I cannot serve. Not too young to run. I cannot serve because of certain factors. Give us your point.
Okay, let me approach it this way. I want to benchmark our country, the current state we are, with a country like Botswana or Rwanda.
Botswana.
So when you take Botswana and look at the GDP, the per capita income in 1990 was about $70. When I was checking in 2009, the statistics that came 2009, per capita income in Botswana is now $7,080. Can you see the shift between
that is more than a quantum leap.
Yes, I can't even put a percentage to it. What did they do differently? This is a country that sat down together and look at who are the most populous people in their nation, and that is the youth. Meaning that there is a need to focus on what they have. That is relatable because if you look at Nigeria, we have 67% of the youth for our own population, meaning that we have an asset to work with. What did they do? They focus on, training that young set of people, putting a lot of resources in training the young people. And, when you train someone, you blow that mind. When you talk about nation building, it's not just governance alone. You are talking about empowering people to be able to do something differently. If you go into technology, there is a whole lot of things you can do differently. There are even countries in Africa that don't have oil, and they are doing so well more than Nigeria. So when you increase the capacity of your young people, you expose them to different areas in life that can support your system because I don't expect the government to do everything for us as a nation. There's a need for people to contribute their own part into that. And let's come back to not too young to run. I would say now, what we are seeing in reality is that we are too poor to run.
Say that again.
We are too poor to run.
Say that again.
We are too poor to run. So not too young to run was what we aimed for. But the reality is that we are too poor to run. And what's the solution I'm providing for that?
Before you provide solution, you need to explain to our global audience when you say too poor to run. So what do you mean?
So let me break that down a bit. When so this is practical. I was actively part of the last election, the general election in 2019. I pushed actively two of my friends, one in Lagos State House of Assembly and one in a local government. I don't want to mention the name. The one in local government, the nomination form is about 10 million.
Say that again.
The nomination form is 10 million naira. And then he spent 55 million in campaign. And yet he lost that election. The one in Lagos State of Assembly spent 10 million for nomination form and spent about 77 million, and he won his own election. Now, take an average Nigerian that want to get into politics. It means that where is that average Nigerian going to get at? So I bring it back to the per capita income. When you have a youth who are hungry, they will go to do anything. What do we need to do differently? We need to get ourselves into collaboration. See, you are working, you want to fight against a system that's been for 60 years, and you want to run. If you run alone, you may run fast, but you are going to die. But if you want to really go far, we need to run together. Collaboration is the new competition. We need to get ourselves together. People in technology, people in banking, like Kunle shared, people in that sector, we need to come together to collaborate and empower our people. The same people who are young. I mean, we have 67% voters, 67% of people, young people who have registered voters. It's just getting those 67% to go and vote for the right person. But how do you get their mindset? You need to educate them. You need to let them know the power they have. You hear a lot of people, even the average Nigerian, you hear average youth of Nigeria say, my vote doesn't count. That is a big lie. You need to let them come to a place to understand that that vote really counts. And you get them out. Like you are saying, they are more interested in reality shows, but they are less interested in the realities of who controls their destiny. So there is that huge gap of ignorance. You may be knowledge, you may have BSc, but you may be ignorant of the realities of what is going on in governance. So we need to get our people aware. We need to engage them. So what I'm doing differently currently is that in my own community, I'm empowering those young people that will become problems to us in our community. And when they see that you are genuinely caring about them, I mean, I don't have a lot of money to share, but I show love and passion and help those people. You are getting them off the numbers that the politicians will come and use.
Femi Oyomi, passionate communication.
Thank you, sir.
From that. Kunle Adewale, art and medicine, pioneering. What are you doing differently as a nation builder that will encourage and challenge somebody?
So for me, my area of expertise is in the area of using art for well-being and area of using art and creativity to inspire social change in Nigeria. Presently, I founded an organization called Art and Medicine Fellowship Program, which brings professionals and students from different spheres of life to collaborate and think of ways of changing the way our healthcare system is. And presently, we have the largest practitioners of art in health network in Africa, presently located in Nigeria. So for me, just like Femi have said about collaboration, I actually have that in mind, that change will not come, or lasting change will never happen outside collaboration. Never. Never. Lasting change never comes outside collaboration, because you need allies, you need other people on board for you to be able to get that change you actually have in mind to make it happen. So one of the things I also say is competence. Competence is very key. Most of the crises we see today, even in leadership, for instance, like in Nigeria, I heard that recently, a few things, increments here and there. But it seems that people are more willing to come into leadership, but they lack competence. So if you are not competent, you have no business in leadership. So I would say for nation builders out there, you need to be competent in your field. You need to be a king where you find yourself. You need to be someone who people can actually look up to. So competence can never be faked. Competence can never be faked. People give manifestos, but they lack manifestation. It's easier to come and read, I will do this, I will do this, we will turn this amount to this amount. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the lane, we are backward like 50 years.
Kunle,
It means that something's wrong somewhere.
I need to say something, and you need to respond to this globally because people are watching us everywhere. You're talking about competence. How do you synergize competence with the fact that it is the loyalists and those who are loyal to the system that will emerge in the place of leadership, or that have been emerging in the place of leadership? Those who are competent, some persons will tell you, you have more degrees than a thermometer, but that's not what we need. If you go there, will you do my bidding? If you go there, will you follow my instructions? So you find that those who are competent, who are not ready to compromise their values, will not get anywhere far. You have found a system in some parts of Nigeria, maybe not all of Nigeria, where mediocrity is being celebrated as excellence. How do we build a nation? Now, please understand this. As nation builders, it is not one individual that puts a structure in place. The architects, the surveyors, the electricians, the plumbers, the masons, it is a collaborative work. But what happens where someone will manifest or elevate, or rather, loyalty over competence? As a nation builder, how do you address this subject matter? Kunle Adewale, then we'll come to Femi.
So I would say that change comes with consistency. Change comes with consistency. So even though it seems like there's a structure in place, there's a system in place designed to limit people who are competent to come into power, to bring the change that people desire, to bring it to fall. And then people who are not competent, and then our people are loyalists to them. And today, it makes it like very difficult for other people to come into that space. So what I would say is that regardless of what the limitations are, we can't give up on hope, no matter what. Because for every Goliath, there's a David, there's a stone. For every Pharaoh, there's a Joseph. So I believe that change will come with time if we stay consistent. Because nothing works except we work, and we keep working. So it's all matter of time. People will feel like they can hold on to power, will run out of power, and justice will be served. And people that God has designed to change the story of our nation will come into power, unlimited, and will be able to bring that change that we all desire and that we all deserve. So I would say that consistency is very key. We can't give up on hope because of godfatherism. Because that's what I see that play out sometimes in the politics, in our political landscape in Nigeria. The godfatherism and people who want to remain in power for donkey years.
Even though they are no longer relevant.
Yes. So they are not becoming like, I wouldn't say like maybe like monuments, but without movement. They are not making progress. They are not keeping people backward. So I believe very strongly that change will come if we stay consistent in what we do. I will also say that commitment is very key. See, I was telling someone, I said that don't expect a full-time payment for a part-time passion.
Do not expect a full-time payment for a part-time passion.
Yes. You cannot say, I'm passionate and you're part-time, you're doing it like sideways. No.
It will never work.
If you want it all, you need to give it your all. If you want it all, change will not come if you don't give it your all. Never. And I know that people today, even around the world, even in developed countries, there are people who have sacrificed their blood. They have sacrificed everything they have for the country to really enjoy the dividends of democracy or the change they desire.
And for it to advance.
So one of the things that we are actually experiencing is that people are being intimidated by people in power. If they say you want to come out, you want to do this, either they use force against you, or they use agency against you, or they use every power against you. But one thing I know is that there is no power that passes the power of the Almighty God.
Mr. Kunle Adewale, your communication now is going into the episcopal region of pontification as a minister of the gospel. Femi Oyewumi, thank you very much for that. Femi Oyewumi. Yes.
I would like to approach this from my last experience in 2019. I supported a very vibrant, young, and competent candidate. But one thing, one of the lessons I learned from what played out is, you see, the people you call young and competent, they don't have CVs to show the people of what they have done. And we need to be very sincere with ourselves. You can be very competent in maybe in the private sector and all that. What have you done in public place that you can reference to? So again, I'm telling our young people, if you look at the election, about 1% of the entire, if you go in the federal, about 1% of them won the elections. And those who won at the grassroots. And I'm asking the competent, the young, get back to your community. Start with your community. Like you said, Kunle, leadership begins at home. You see, recently you saw that a very, I'll call him chairman, in a particular party was brought back home to sit back at home. His problem begins from home. They record him from home. It means that the home is very important. If you really need to see the change and convince the people, start from home. Go back to the grassroots. Let's start from home. If Kunle can start from his own community, I can start from my own community. That's part of the strategy. And listen to me, there is a need for process. The change we are asking for is a lasting change. I'm not saying one of the pitfalls for the young people is that they sit back now. 2023, by 2022, 2023, they are out. They want to campaign in 6 months and win election for a government that has been in place for 60 years. We need to start from our community. Every day, like you said, there's no part-time. You must be full-time into it. Let the people in your community know what you are doing differently. When they see what you are doing, you can be part of the... See, people are turning blind eyes into our lawmakers. Do you know some of them have sat down in that place for 21 years?
Since the
In the same constituency, yes, in the same constituency, and the people are chasing after governorship and all that. The people who will change the policy, the legal framework, they are going to help our nation, give an enabling environment for the youth to thrive. We are not focusing on those places. Like you said, sir, the loyalists are the one filling those positions. Why don't you let us get back home? Feel our home. Let the people feel the impact of what we are doing at home and be part of that government at the grassroots. Soon enough, if Femi in Oyo State is doing something differently, and Kunle is doing something differently in Lagos, someone else is doing something differently in Ogun State, soon enough, when we collaborate, like I said, we are going to move those who are sitting in there.
And Adiza is doing something remarkable in Kano.
Absolutely.
Mohammed is doing something phenomenal in Katsina.
Yes. And in my Oyo State,
is doing something.
I have a speaker who is a young man. And if you need to go and read about that biography, he didn't just get there. There was something strategic about the move. If you really want to change anything, we need to be a bit more strategic.
Nation builders that do not pay the price and are not ready to pay their dues cannot emerge as nation builders. So the concept of sacrifice, the concept of commitment, the concept of doggedness, the concept of saying, I will be the difference that my nation wants to see in my own little space is very important. For wherever you are watching us, this is the Agenda 3.0, and we're talking about the nation builders. I am still Abiodun. This is a call to action. This is not just a talk shop. The agenda is in its 3rd edition, starting with changing the narratives and going on to beyond rhetoric. It's the 60th anniversary of the Nigeria as a nation. It's our independence edition. And so we want to throw out a challenge to everyone watching us, listening to us. Listen, you have complained for too long. You have sat down on the side fences for too long. You have said things would get better, but you have done nothing. You have looked at those in leadership and you have said you can do better. But have you joined a political party? Have you stepped out to put yourself on the line to say, I would understand how the political process works? You cannot show up on Monday and be crowned on Friday as a king. It never works. Growth without process is cancerous. And that is what many of us are looking at as young people. They are saying they will not give us a chance. Nobody will give you a chance. You will not show up as an actor if you do not climb the stage, if you do not read the script, if you do not make yourself available and tell everybody who cares to listen, I can be of service and I can make a difference. We're going to take your parting shots, gentlemen. It is a call to action because the atmosphere in the nation is a sobering one. But there are opportunities in Nigeria. There are potentials in this nation. Our infrastructure position is increasing. We're getting better infrastructurally, but I know we can do better. Kunle Adewale, give us your parting shot as a nation builder, speaking directly to everyone that is watching you, wherever they are in the world, irrespective of the time zone difference. We know we're engaging you from California, but we need you to speak to the heart because, listen, it is those who have refused to take action that believe that talk is cheap. Some persons have spoken and they have moved nations. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, but his dream woke up a nation. And that nation has not recovered from that statement. Kunle Adewale, what is your statement as a nation builder?
To all nation builders out there, let me say this to you. In nation building, you are not a spectator, you are a stakeholder. There's something at stake if you do nothing. You are not a spectator. You are not out there to just watch how things are happening. You are out there to make things happen. And in so doing, you have a critical role to play. And start where you are, bringing forth change into your own space. You don't need to compare yourself with what other people are doing. You need to focus on your primary assignment and you making change happening in that environment and you making life better for people in your environment where you find yourself. Let people who are living very close to you feel the impact of your presence so that they can feel the impact of your absence.
Thank you very much, Kunle Adewale. Femi Oyewumi, your parting shot to everyone who is listening, watching, and engaging us on the Agenda 3.0.
Thank you very much. I'd like to address two set of people. The first is those who are nation builders and currently doing something now. Let me tell you the truth. You are not the only one in this struggle. We are a lot of us. Just be patient a bit more and let's collaborate. And soon enough, the change you are looking for is going to be our reality. And for those who are not doing anything, let me tell you, Nigeria will not change until you are part of that change. And if you refuse to be part of that change, what the change and the nation builders are bringing will sweep you away from what you think you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Femi Oyewumi. Kunle Adewale, I want to say a very big thank you. Before we round off, please note that the agenda is a movement, not a monument. Our engagement translates beyond an engagement of this nature. It is a practical reality engagement. If you would like to be part of this, please connect with us on all our various social media platforms that are displayed on the screen. We want to hear from you. We want to get your feedback. This is a powerful initiative that stands us apart within not only the body of Christ, but representing our nation. And this is our own contribution. Kunle Adewale, I say thank you. And Femi Oyewumi, I appreciate you. For those who are watching us wherever you are in the parts of the world, I remain Abiodun. Till I come your way, I say happy anniversary. Nigeria will get better with you as a nation builder taking action. It's been great having you on the show today. Have a fantastic day and remain a blessing. Bye for now.
It has been a wonderful session from the discussion room. Tammy, what did you learn from the discussion?
You know, it was so phenomenal that I picked points from Kunle Adewale's opinion where he talked about followership being the main issue when it comes to nation building. And he said that you and I are the solution that we seek. So the big question is, what difference can I make in my nation as a youth?
I'm talking about the difference we can make. Femi Oyewumi said young people should get involved in politics by asking questions. Don't just rant on Twitter, don't just make noise. Ask difficult questions from the local government level to the state level to the federal government. Let's ask questions by getting involved.
However, in the course of the year, there is a platform for you already, the Get Involved Network. It is a platform for young Nigerians who are interested in initiatives that has to do with nation building.
And you can make impact by joining any of the sectors from leadership to politics to social, civil, engineer, anywhere. Just join us.
Kindly check the link on your screen to register. At this point, let's join hands together, get involved, and build our nation. God bless Nigeria.